Hi, I'm Antonio Capulera. There are things in this world that can't be explained by logic alone. Moments where time stands still and something unseen moves through you, guiding your hands, your thoughts, your very breath. Well, that's how my art began. Not with plans or ambitions, but with whispers, with visions that came when I wasn't searching for them. I've painted hundreds of faces, of men, women, heroes, villains, dreamers, the unbroken and the divine. And yet, in every single one, there's the same light, the same spark, the same unspoken message that says, turn to the light. When I paint, I don't think of fame or fortune. I don't paint for likes or follows or the applause. I paint because something greater in me tells me to. Some call that instinct, and me, I call that God. And through that calling came the sunflower. Bright, faithful, defiant in the face of darkness. The sunflower became my teacher, my mirror, my reminder that even in the shadows, there is always a direction where the light still shines. Each painting is a prayer, each brush stroke a heartbeat. Some of the people I've painted, they've passed on not long after. 4 souls gone to the other side, almost as if the painting was a bridge. The moment between light and eternity. Others, like my brother in strength, Antonio Sabato Jr., stood beside my work every day and felt the same energy, felt that same faith, but he carried it with him into the boxing ring, into his daily fight. And that's the beauty of it. The sunflower doesn't belong to me. It belongs to anyone who chooses faith over fear. My paintings are born from spirit, not strategy. God doesn't give me a schedule. He gives me a name, a face, a message, and I follow. Sometimes it's a celebrity I've never met. Sometimes it's someone who is struggling quietly behind all the glamour. And sometimes it's someone the world is calling a villain. But I see what they could be if they would turn toward the light. Because that's the secret in this world. The sunflower doesn't judge the darkness. It just refuses to stay in it. When I paint women, I paint the divine feminine, the beauty that heals the world without ever trying. Women are like sunflowers themselves. Radiant, life-giving, yet strong enough to weather the storms that men could never comprehend. To me, beauty isn't vanity. It's truth expressed through grace. It's the light of God wearing a human face. And when I paint men, I paint strength, not the kind that bullies or boasts, but the kind that stands tall, quiet, focused, unbroken. The kind of strength that says, I have faith, even when I'm bleeding. Because real masculinity isn't about dominance. It's about endurance. It's about standing firm in who you are, no matter how dark the world becomes around them. So, each painting, each sunflower, each figure is a part of one great conversation between heaven and earth. It's not about celebrity. It's about humanity. It's about the light inside all of us that refuses to die, no matter how many storms pass through. People sometimes ask me, Antonio, how do you choose who to paint? And the truth is, I don't. They come to me. Their names come to my mind when I'm quiet, when I least expect it sometimes. Sometimes I'll see their face in a dream. Sometimes I'll hear their voice in my spirit. Sometimes I just know. And when I paint them, I don't paint just their fame. I paint their fight. I paint their longing to rise again, to heal, to remember who they are, even before all the noise began. I paint what God wants them to see in themselves. Because we all forget, Even the strongest of us. We forget. That's why the sunflower exists. To remind us to turn. When you've been through a lot of tough lessons, the light seems so far away. It's easy to let bitterness win. But the sunflower never allows that to happen. It never does. It follows the light, no matter how far it moves. It just turns. And that's what faith really is. Movement toward hope, even when you can't see where it leads. I've lived that. You've lived that. We've walked through storms that would have broken others. We've watched people that we love vanish into darkness through either corruption, through loss, or through betrayal. And we've learned that sometimes the only thing that we can do is stand tall, like the mighty sunflower. And we turn our faces toward heaven anyway. I don't always understand why God sends me certain people to paint. Some of them surprise me. But when I look back, I always see the pattern. How each portrait carried a message, not just for them, but for me too. Each painting teaches us something about faith, about resilience, about love that never dies. And that's why I say, I'm not an artist who paints people. I'm an artist who paints souls. Every face tells a story of redemption. Every sunflower tells a story of faith. And when I put them together, it's a story of how light always wins, even when the darkness screams louder. To the women who see these paintings, I want you to feel cherished, seen, adored for the divine masterpiece you already are. You are the reason the world still turns toward beauty. And to the men, I want you to feel challenged to rise higher, to walk in faith, to remember that strength isn't pride. It's perseverance. Because art, at its purest, is faith made visible. And these paintings, they're my prayer for the world. The sunflower doesn't need to ask for light. It just receives it. It doesn't argue with the night. It waits for the dawn. And that's what I try to live by. When I paint, I'm not chasing perfection. I'm chasing truth. The truth that we're all made from the same hands, watched over by the same God, guided by the same light. When I looked at a finished painting, I don't just see a face. I see the reflection of something divine. I see strength rising out of struggle. I see beauty outlasting pain. I see hope where there once was none. And maybe that's why some of the people I paint are called home soon after, because their spirit was ready for light. Maybe the sunflower was their reminder to look up one last time. But for those still here, may these paintings be a reminder to keep fighting, to keep believing, to remember that the greatest battles are not fought in the boxing ring, or on Broadway, or in the spotlight, but within your heart. And when you find that peace, that strength, that faith, you've already won, kid. Just remember, you can always turn toward the light, even after loss, even after a heartbreak, even after years of standing in the shadows. The moment you turn, everything changes. Faith doesn't erase the pain. It transforms it into your strength. It takes your tears and waters your roots. Sometimes God doesn't calm the storm. He makes you strong enough to stand through it. So that's when the sunlight returns, and you're still there, unshaken. And the mighty sunflower, that's what faith looks like. People often ask, how do you stay faithful when life falls apart? And I tell them, because the light has never failed me once. It might hide behind the clouds, but it always returns. Always. And when it does, everything that bowed its head in sorrow will lift it in joy again. Faith is not about pretending the darkness doesn't exist. It's about knowing the light will overcome it. It always has, and it always will. So when life tests you, when people leave, when things break, when you feel alone, don't look down. Turn your face upward. Even if your heart is heavy, even if your eyes are tired, turn to the light. That's how the sunflower survives every season. And that's how you will too. Because your faith is your sunlight. Your hope is your root. And your heart, well, that's your bloom. Keep growing toward what's good. Keep believing in the unseen. Keep rising when it would be easier to fall. That's the secret the mighty sunflower has always known all along. Faith doesn't need to understand. Faith just needs to follow the light. A quiet strength. A light that refuses to go out. A hope that keeps on reaching, no matter how dark the sky becomes. And if you've ever felt lost, if you ever forget what it means to have faith, just remember this. You were born to rise. You were made to turn toward what's good and true. You were made to shine. So keep going. Keep believing. Keep growing toward the light, because the light is growing toward you too. Thank you for sharing this time with me. May your days be bright, your roots be deep, and your heart stay faithful like the mighty sunflower. Until next time, my friends, keep turning toward the light.